At minus 45 degrees Celsius, your bare skin sticks to metal faster than you can pull it away. And out here, the nearest help is hundreds of kilometers away. A freight train is moving through pitch-black Alaskan taiga right now, and the cold is hunting something on board. Not the crew, not the engine. Something you'd never think to protect. Before a single kilometer of track rolls under those wheels, the brigade does something that looks almost ceremonial, and in minus 45 degrees Celsius, it takes twice as long as it should. The engineer and assistant circle the locomotive on foot, flashlights cutting through the dark. They're checking brake shoes, rubber hoses, the couplings between cars. Simple enough in summer. Out here, it's a different exercise entirely. The rubber hoses that connect the brake lines between carriages have gone rigid, not stiff, rigid. The way dense plastic feels when you knock it against something hard. Flex them wrong and they crack. The metal fittings pull heat from bare fingers so fast that small tasks have to be done in short bursts, hands retreating into gloves every couple of minutes. Even the snow underfoot doesn't crunch, it squeaks, like polystyrene compressed underfoot. Everything missed now, under the spotlights, will have to be found later in open taiga with a single lantern and the wind against it. And the whole time they're walking the perimeter, the locomotive behind them is running. It has been running all day, all week. It will not stop once this entire winter. Not at the station, not at a siding, not during hours of idle waiting. From the outside, that looks like waste. Pure, expensive waste. But here's what happens the moment that engine goes cold. The diesel is cooled by water circulating through a network of pipes and radiator sections. Shut the engine down, and that water stops moving. At minus 45, it freezes. And water, when it freezes, expands with enough force to split metal, cracking radiator sections, bursting pipes, destroying pumps. Railway workers call it defrosting. That word sounds gentle. It isn't. It means one multi-million-dollar locomotive reduced to an immovable block of iron overnight. Now, factor in where this railroad actually sits. The Alaska Railroad runs 760 kilometers, connecting the southern port of Seward through Anchorage up to Fairbanks. And it connects to no other railway on the continent, not one junction. Every spare part, every replacement locomotive, arrives by sea barge. Weeks, not hours. There is no rapid recovery. Every locomotive that survives the winter is the only version of itself that exists here. So, burning diesel at idle, all winter, every night, that's not waste. That's the only calculation that makes sense. The train pulls onto the track. Headlights find two rails and nothing else. The forest closes in on both sides. And then, standing perfectly still in the beam of light, something is blocking the way. That defrosting calculation, burning fuel all winter just to keep a locomotive alive. Would you have believed it was the right call before watching this? Drop your answer in the comments below. Because what's standing in those headlights right now is about to make the braking system the most important thing on this train. That moose isn't moving, and a loaded freight train doing any meaningful speed across frozen Alaskan ground cannot stop in the distance a car stops, or even the distance a city block covers. No train can. So here's the question the previous section planted and hasn't answered yet. How does something weighing thousands of tons stop at all? Not with steel, with air. Running the entire length of the train, from the locomotive to the very last car, is a single thin tube, the brake line. Between each car, flexible rubber hoses connect the sections into one continuous pipe, and the locomotive's compressor keeps that pipe filled with compressed air. Here's where the logic flips on you. Full pressure means brakes open. The train rolls freely. To brake, the engineer releases some of that air. The pressure drops, and every car along the formation clamps its brake shoes simultaneously. The system was designed this way on purpose. If a coupling ever fails mid-route and the train splits in two, the hoses tear loose, air escapes on its own, and both halves stop automatically. No command needed. A failure that causes braking, not the loss of it. Think of it like a lock that, when it breaks, locks itself harder. Now, bring the temperature back. Minus 45 degrees Celsius. Air carries moisture. Inside those brake lines, that moisture doesn't stay liquid. It freezes into ice crystals that block valves, jam the pressure regulators, and choke the system at exactly the moment it needs to respond. Before every descent, the brigade runs a brake check. Not a formality, a ritual. The route has 2 major slopes, and the crew has studied the track profile before the shift even started, where each descent begins, how long it runs, how much pressure the system will need to hold. Because if the airline fails on a prolonged downhill slope with thousands of tons behind you, there is no backup option within 100 kilometers in any direction. And that is the whole picture. The never-sleeping engine, the twice-as-slow inspection, the air brake vigil, they aren't separate precautions. They are one answer to one problem, repeated across every system on the train. Cold doesn't arrive with a warning. It doesn't attack the obvious targets. It finds the moisture in a brake line, the water in a coolant pipe, the flexibility in a rubber hose, the things you forgot to think about. The brigade makes it through every night, not because they're tougher than the cold, but because every strange decision was made on the ground, under the spotlights, before the darkness started. 2 people in an iron box, hundreds of kilometers from anyone. And the reason they come home is that nothing was left to chance. Subscribe for more stories like this, and watch the next one on screen.